What's going on, everyone? Welcome to today's video. For those of you who are new here, my name is Richardson. I used to be a personal trainer and a certified nutrition coach. I'm also a chemical engineer, and in today's video, I'm going to talk about the 7 best foods that you can eat every single day to skyrocket your testosterone levels. If this is your first time here, I post all about natural ways that men can boost their testosterone levels through fitness, nutrition, and lifestyle decisions that they make. So if that's the kind of stuff you're interested in, then go ahead and hit the subscribe button and turn the notification bells on too, so that you don't miss out on any of my latest videos, and I do post regularly. Alright, let's go ahead and get into it. These 7 foods that you can eat every single day to skyrocket your testosterone levels. So the first one probably will not surprise you too much, and that is eggs. Eggs are an awesome testosterone boosting food because they contain pretty much every single vitamin that you can imagine, except for vitamin C. I'm not much of a believer in superfoods, but if I had to give my stamp of approval as far as a superfood goes, eggs would definitely make the list. Eggs are a crucial source of micronutrients like zinc and selenium as well, and these micronutrients are key drivers to testosterone synthesis. There's also healthy cholesterols in the egg yolks, and that's another thing I should mention is you want to ensure that you're eating the egg yolk because that's where all of the vitamins and the nutrients are contained. But one of the benefits of that egg yolk is it's a healthy source of good dietary cholesterol, and cholesterol is a precursor in testosterone synthesis. So you definitely want to make sure that you're eating plenty of eggs to boost your testosterone levels naturally. Now, I personally recommend paying attention to the quality of the eggs that you're buying. I mean, really ideally, farm fresh pasture-raised eggs are the best. If you can get them locally from some farmer that you know who lets their chickens run around outside and gets fresh sunlight and they eat worms and food that they're supposed to, and they're not pumped full of all these antibiotics and nasty chemicals, then I would say that's probably your ideal egg source. But really just buying regular eggs also, I mean, I get that some people are on tight budgets. There's still a lot of good nutrients contained in the egg yolks, and eggs are also relatively inexpensive, so that's another good added benefit. Testosterone boosting food number 2 is ground beef. Ground beef is a great source of a lot of B vitamins, and that's definitely something you need in your diet to boost testosterone levels. It's got plenty of zinc. Red meat in general also has natural creatine in it. It's got L-carnitine, and all of these are great nutrients for testosterone boosting and muscle building purposes. And in a pretty general sense, ground beef is relatively inexpensive. I mean, it kind of depends on the quality that you get, whether you go for grass-fed and grass-finished or just conventional. Personally, I'm a firm believer in paying attention to the quality of the produce that you're consuming as well. But if all you can afford or all you really feel like paying for is just conventional beef, you're still going to get a lot of the benefits and a lot of the nutrients. Now, one thing I do want to mention is the fat content of ground beef. This is definitely something that you kind of just want to be aware of, because depending on whether you're trying to lose fat or build muscle, then it might make a difference. Now, I would definitely say that you want some fat in there because ground beef contains a lot of healthy fats that your body needs, especially for the purpose of testosterone production. But you don't want too much fat because then you're going to start to bolster up the calories that you're consuming. So if your goal is to lose body fat, which I'm kind of just generally guessing that that's most people's goal, then you might want to stick to leaner ground beefs. But if you are trying to build muscle or you're trying to gain weight, then maybe opting for like the 85-15 or the 80-20 even is okay. And another thing is with the fat content, the more fat it has in it, generally the cheaper it is. So that's another thing that you can consider. But it's definitely worth being conscious of the calories that you're consuming, whether your goal is to lose fat or build muscle or even to just recomp. It's good to just kind of be aware of that. All right, testosterone boosting food number 3 is salmon. I'm going to keep coming back to this idea of the quality of your produce. In a general sense, if you're eating these foods, they have a lot of nutrients that are great for testosterone, but I would say opt for wild-caught salmon instead of farm-raised salmon. Opt for grass-fed beef instead of conventional beef. Opt for pasture-raised eggs instead of regular conventional eggs. Good, healthy, high-quality food is always worth investing in, and your body is going to thank you, and it is going to do wonders for your health if you make the investment. Salmon is a a great source of healthy omega-3 fatty acids, and in the standard American diet at least, I can't really speak for tons of other places around the world, but in the standard American diet, it's very high in omega-6s. And I would say most people in general would really benefit from balancing out their omega-3 to omega-6 fatty acid intake, because there's a certain ratio in your brain that kind of creates this ideal environment for optimal functionality. And then a lot of the fats in general in salmon are also very beneficial for testosterone production. The fat in salmon also has a lot of antioxidant fat soluble vitamins, and any kind of anti-inflammatory nutrient is always going to benefit testosterone production, because the less inflammation that's in your body, the less your body has to work to fight that inflammation, and it can essentially focus its energy efforts on things like optimizing hormone output. All right, testosterone boosting food number 4 is avocados. Avocados are a great source of monounsaturated fat. To just give you a quick breakdown of some of the fats that you want to be consuming, saturated fat and monounsaturated fats are going to be best, and avocados are very rich in those healthy monounsaturated fats that are anti-inflammatory, and they're not oxidative like polyunsaturated fats, commonly known as seed oils. Avocados are also a very rich source of magnesium, and they also pair very well with most of the other foods on this list already. I mean, eggs and avocados, ground beef and avocados, salmon and avocados, it pairs very well with all of these things. So it's very rich in nutrients, it's rich in that monounsaturated fat that you want for healthy testosterone synthesis. But keep in mind that avocados pretty much are pure fat, so going back to the whole fat and calorie conversation, it's good to just kind of be mindful of how many calories that you're consuming. So personally, I would say for a good calorie intake, but to still get all of the benefits from eating avocados, eating like half an avocado per day should cut it and get you plenty of nutrients, plenty of testosterone boosting fat in your diet. So that's a pretty good recommendation. Now, if you've made it this far and you're wondering if I have some kind of structured guide as far as how many calories you should eat, how much fat, how much carbs, how much protein you should eat, what kind of workouts you should be doing and how you should structure your workouts, what sort of lifestyle decisions that you should be making, well then you're in luck, because I do have a 59-page ebook that I call Testosterone Mastery for sale. So if you head to the link down in the pinned comment, you can learn a little bit more about that. You can pick it up for 27 bucks, and it's chock full of a ton of super useful information. So anyways, that's my shameless plug, but let's move on to testosterone boosting food number 5, and that is sweet potatoes. Some people call these yams, but sweet potatoes, yams, you know, potato. Sweet potatoes are rich in potassium, and they're a great source of starchy carbohydrates. And there are so many nutrients in sweet potatoes because it is literally the root of the plant. And the root of the plant is really where a lot of the nutrient absorption takes place. So eating about half a pound to a pound of sweet potatoes a day is definitely a great way to get some healthy carbs into your diet. And I don't know if any of you guys have seen that trending video about the bowl that's like sweet potatoes, ground beef, avocados, and I think cottage cheese is another one of them, and then it's got like honey on it. I personally haven't tried it, but in all honesty, a lot of the foods on this list do align well with that bowl. I do think cottage cheese is a good food, and you know, raw honey, getting your hands on some raw honey is a great thing too. So anyway, I just kind of wanted to like mention that. I've seen it trending around before. I've personally never tried it yet, but I kind of really want to. And if you were kind of on the verge of thinking about maybe trying it, then I mean, you have my blessing, because a lot of those foods in that bowl are also testosterone boosting foods. So I say be my guest. So anyway, my favorite way to make sweet potatoes is to just bake them in the oven for like 1 or 2 hours, and then sprinkle a little bit of cinnamon on them, and that can keep them pretty low calories. And I challenge you to eat an entire pound of sweet potatoes. It is absolutely going to stuff you and fill you and give you tons of nutrients for your testosterone boosting lifestyle. All right, testosterone boosting food number 6 is bananas. So when it comes to carbohydrates, I've always been a fan of the saying fruits and roots. So here we have bananas for your fruits, and we have sweet potatoes for your roots. And probably fruits in general are always going to be very healthy. Bananas just happen to be very cheap. They're also high in potassium, and potassium is a very important mineral for testosterone production. Really, all nutrients and micronutrients are especially important, because if your body has all of the resources that it needs to function well, then your testosterone levels naturally are going to be high. But there are a couple key micronutrients that you definitely want to make make sure that you're getting plenty of, like magnesium and zinc, selenium, vitamin D, and I'd say potassium is another one of those. So anyways, bananas are great because, again, they're also very inexpensive. They're packed with tons of nutrients. You can easily eat 1 or 2 per day, and there's only about 100 calories in one of them. So if you're ever wondering what kind of carbs that you should be eating for a good testosterone boosting diet, then the saying fruits and roots will probably never steer you wrong. Last but not least, testosterone boosting food number 7 is Brazil nuts. Now, when it comes to Brazil nuts, you want to especially make sure that you are consuming them with the coat on, or the seed shell, or whatever you want to call it. They're called Brazil nuts, but I think they are technically categorized as a seed because they have that shell on them. But Brazil nuts are very high in selenium, and that's really what kind of gives them their testosterone boosting power. But all of the selenium is in the coating, or the shell, or whatever you want to call it. So make sure if you buy Brazil nuts, you're not buying the de-shelled ones. You want to make sure that you're consuming that shell because that's where all the selenium is. And Brazil nuts are in fact so high in selenium that really all you need is like 2 or 3 Brazil nuts per day to get all of the benefits. In fact, in the video that I made about how Ferriss keeps really high testosterone levels, I made that video several years ago. One of his hacks is that he eats about 6 Brazil nuts per day, 3 in the morning and then 3 in the evening. And then he's got some other hacks like consuming eggs before you go to bed, because when you consume eggs and cholesterol before you go to bed, testosterone production naturally ramps up while you're asleep. So that makes a lot of sense that if you fuel your body with cholesterol, which is used as a precursor in testosterone synthesis, then testosterone production is going to ramp up while you're asleep. But anyways, I digress. That is one of his hacks, is just eating a handful of Brazil nuts per day. They have all that selenium in them. They're also higher in monounsaturated fats. Most other nuts are high in polyunsaturated fats. So pick you up a bag of not de-shelled Brazil nuts and have a few of them every single day to get all of the selenium in your diet that you need to boost your testosterone levels naturally. So there you have it, 7 foods that you can eat every single day to boost your testosterone levels naturally. Now, I certainly didn't cover every single testosterone boosting food out there, but I have tons of resources that are both free and paid where you can learn more about how to build a testosterone boosting diet, all without taking any kinds of pills or really even supplements or injections or hormone replacement therapies, weird gels that you rub on your chest. All you got to do is learn how to create a nutrition plan that will naturally raise your testosterone levels. So anyway, I got playlists. I again have that Testosterone Mastery ebook for sale down in the link in the pinned comment, so check that out if you're interested. But anyway, that's all for this video. If you liked it, make sure you give it a thumbs up. And again, if you're new here and you really enjoyed this video, I would encourage you to subscribe because I do post videos like this regularly, and turn the notification bells on too so that you're not missing out on any of my latest videos. Let me know what you thought about the video down in the comments below. I always love engaging with you guys and chatting with you down there. I do read all my comments and I do respond to all of them, so don't be a stranger. I always like engaging with you guys and hearing what you have to say. If you made it to the end of the video, I really appreciate the support, and I hope you got a ton out of this video as well. Good luck in all of your testosterone boosting efforts. Thanks for watching, everyone. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.